Hi, Mr. Nelson here. Mr. Nelson Jr. is going to do the demonstrating, I'll do the talking because I'm better at talking, he's better at looking good. We're going to go through Pyung Odan, the fifth of the Pyung forms. Mr. Nelson's going to do a demonstration directly towards the camera to start with at full and normal speed. Then we're going to show you a demonstration at an angle because this is a very linear form and we want to make sure you can catch all the bits of detail, and then we'll go through all the full detail in the very last part. So, Mr. Nelson, off you go. Hey! 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 Okay, so now we're going to go through the details. So the first move, Mr. Nelson's going to look to his left. He's going to step into a back stance, gain elbow connection and do an inside to outside middle block. More in a side stance than a back stance, which means both of his shoulders are facing towards the flags, and from the side, he is more side on. Okay, then he's going to do a short blocking punch. And a couple of different ways to explain this. Either your fist is level with your knee, your front knee, or your elbow is level with your rear hip. Okay, both are not going to be the same, but either are correct. Okay, then you're going to step together and change guard. That's it. So he's protecting his solar plexus now with his left arm, and his right hand is chambered as normal. And then from there, he's going to step, or look first, step into that back stance, inside to outside middle block, again in that side stance. That's a good back stance, but the shoulders are more sideways on. Good. Short blocking punch. And when we do that short blocking punch, we want to push that rear hip forward. So go back, Mr. Nelson. If you notice how he's sideways on, look at those shoulders, look at those hips. And then as he punches, or he does the short blocking punch, the hip comes forward and the shoulder comes forward. So he's now actually fairly square on. Again, the arm is chambered. Now, when he moves, he steps towards his front hand, and then the hands change sides. So he's now got his right hand over his solar plexus, and his left hand is chambered on his ribs. Both hands go to the left hip now as he falls forward, catches his balance in a front stance, and does a two-handed inside to outside middle block. And again, we've got that good front stance where the feet are on two separate lines underneath the shoulders. Just checking there. Okay. Excuse me. Now he's going to step forward, hands come to the right hip, and he does a front stance, double low block. And remember, in a double low block, we bend our front knee ever so slightly more. We don't send our head down. Okay, we keep our head up and we push our hands forward, which means our front knee bends ever so slightly. From there, we're going to draw the hands back in as they hit the chest. They open, and we do a two-handed pseudo knife hand block above our head. And notice how he's looking through that space. Look at that, there we go. Needs a bit more sleep. He's not looking over the top of his hands, he's looking in between his arms. Now, from here, the next move, all we're going to do is we're going to show you how you stand up with your knee. So the knee comes up, okay? Back again, thank you, Mr. Nelson. As he does that, he's going to maintain contact with the wrists, rotate them, and he's going to place his right hand on top of his right leg. That's it. And his left hand, while he balances there, is at right angle. So we'll go back and we'll see that again together. Takes a bit of time to get used to this as the two hands rotate and your right hand is placed along the right leg, the thigh of the right leg. From there, he's going to chop, bring his chopping shoulder forward, chop, step down, middle punch with a kiap. Hey. That's it. Then from there, he looks over his rear shoulder and he's going to do a blocking kick. As he steps down, once he's done the blocking kick, he's going to make sure that he steps into a horse stance and stamps down on somebody's leg. Go. Blocking kick and stamps down. At the same time, he does a low block. So all together, Mr. Nelson, back again. That's it. Looks, blocking kick, head height, stamps down and low block. Excellent. Now from there, breathe in and breathe out. And the right hand comes over the top of the left hand. The right hand comes over the top of the left hand. So do that again for me, Mr. Nelson. Right over left, breathe in, breathe out. We now imagine that we've got somebody's head in our left hand. We're going to blocking kick it, land down in a horse stance and elbow strike at the same time. Beautiful. Then from there, we step into a cross-legged stance towards the flags and at the same time, do a reinforced back fist or a double block towards the flags. And notice the hips are pointing 45 degrees forward. He's not turned sideways on. Now, looks towards the back of the room, steps out into a back stance and the hands just follow him around. We don't do anything with the hands. We go back, Mr. Nelson, cross-legged stance. As he turns around, the hands just follow. Breathe in, foot comes in. That's it, and the foot is sideways on to the other foot. So we've got an L shape. The left hand is protecting, the elbow is protecting the solar plexus. The right hand is placed on top of the shoulder. And the top hand, the right hand, is not quite straight. There's a slight bend in it. From there, he's going to take a step out. Oh, I better go to the other side. From there, he's going to take a step out, do a jump nice and high, and he's going to do a kneeling position, two-handed double block. And it's coming straight out in front of him, protecting from a kick. Okay, from there, steps up into a two-handed inside to outside middle block. Front stance, notice how the front stance is nice and wide. He hasn't gone too narrow, two-handed block. Looks over his left shoulder. He's going to turn around and use his current blocking hand to do a low groin strike. It's actually a reverse groin strike because if you notice, he's got his left leg forward and he's using his right hand. Left hand is placed on top of his shoulder as a pseudo, open hand. From there, pull back with the right hand and do a low block with the left hand, and we finish in a back stance. We want 90 degrees at the elbow and we want 90 degrees at the shoulder. Okay, good low block position. From there we step together, and notice now Mr. Nelson will go sideways on now, so the hand disappears behind his back. Next motion, he's going to drop his back hand, drop his front hand. They're going to cross over. We're going to do this slowly, Mr. Nelson. Cross over, and as he does that, he's going to turn around and bring them both up to that double block position. So, nice and quickly, go back, Mr. Nelson, nice and quickly for me. Drops the hands, brings them back up, and he changes, go back from the attention position to a cross-legged position. This detail you will have to work with your instructor on. It's difficult to get that move, so your instructor in a one-to-one will work with you or in class time on how to do that transition. Step out with your right leg, do a left arm, reverse low groin block, right hand is on the shoulder, protecting, grab, pull back, kiap, exactly the same move as before, right angle on the elbow, right angle on the shoulder, and low block. Good back stance. From there, draw the front leg in. Breathe in, breathe out. Tension position. Do a bow.